Hey, it's your book hound coming at you with the books we like to howl about. As we say, if you like what you see here, I hope you'll subscribe. We've got lots of great reviews, special offers, all kinds of cool stuff coming at you every week. So here goes. This week we're going to talk about The Wedding Guest by Jonathan Kellerman. This is the 34th, if I'm not mistaken, the 34th book in the Alex Delaware series of mysteries. And if you've been reading mysteries for a while, you've probably come across these books. I've read almost every single one of them. He's been writing them since 1985. And they feature Alex Delaware, who is a psychologist who consults with the Los Angeles Police Department. And I've been a big fan of this series. And I want to say this with the greatest of respect. I think it's time for Dr. Delaware to go on sabbatical. I think that, Kellerman is one of the most successful authors in the world for a reason. He's an experienced psychologist, and he brings fascinating insights into the psychology of characters in these books. But this series, at least as far as this book is concerned, seems to be running out of gas. And I think that maybe it's unavoidable. I mean, if you've been writing the same character for 35 years or whatever, almost 40 years, sorry, whatever, you might be running out of energy. So The Wedding Guest opens with this very bizarre murder where there's a wedding and a beautiful woman is found murdered in the bathroom at the place where they're having the wedding reception. And so Milo Sturgis, who's a long time, he's a fixture in the series. He's a lieutenant in the LAPD. He's gay and he works on his own. And that's another kind of little thing too. Like 40 years ago, a gay police officer was novel, and there's a lot of like controversy and conflict around this character and his sexual orientation and the way he's treated. I have a funny feeling this is less of an issue in the LAPD now, and it's less of an issue in society. It's less potential to shock people. So it's kind of an example of something that maybe needs to be rethought or retired. But anyway, Sturgis brings Delaware in, and like with all Alex Delaware mysteries, the process of solving this crime involves dealing with a lot of really weird people. And this is, Kellerman's one of his strengths is he's very good at creating these odd characters, most of whom, but it seems to be, it's almost like grating at this point. Like he creates these characters who are just obnoxious and in your face and difficult and triggering, and it's like, okay, so you meet like 20 people like this in the book, and they're trying to track down what's happening with this woman, and they're not really getting anywhere. And the story eventually starts to take shape, but it does take a while. And I think the book lacks a little bit of direction, and there's some, I don't know, it just feels like maybe he's exhausted the potential for this character. And the Delaware character also, to me, it brings to mind a funny insult I heard on the show Frasier, which is where this woman accuses Frasier of being a man who knows what a duvet is. Like that's some kind of insult. And it is funny because for a straight man, Alex Delaware seems to pay a lot of attention to like the color of people's shoes and certain choices of home decor and stuff that, like, I don't know, most men don't really pay attention to. Anyway, where Kellerman is strong is in describing families. It's very engaging. He talks about there's certain characters in this book who come from very complicated and difficult families. He's very good at that. So, look, if you're a big fan of the series, I'd recommend it. If you're not familiar with this series, I wouldn't start with this one. That's one thing I'll say. But I think, as I said, I think it may be time for Dr. Delaware to take a sabbatical, go to Hawaii for a few years, rest up, and get some really fresh ideas.